morning. I'm going to attempt to do this. I'm in my temporary workspace, and I hope y'all can hear me. But I am Ayana Glaze of Ayana Glaze Designs, and I am working on some curtains for my kitchen. So I have a kitchen door, and that is a glass door. And so I want to do I want to do like a little curtain panel there, and it's gonna have some straps on it. So when you roll it up, it can make a cute little design when you open it, almost like a Roman shade, but not quite. And then also, I am working on some drapes to go over the kitchen counter that's gonna match that door. So, and this is the fabric that I'm using. So I have an open floor plan, and so I'm using these this fabric right here. It's a P. Kaufman, a Robert Kaufman, I believe, fabric that I picked up from Joann's. So that's what I am using. Good morning, whoever. I don't know who's watching. I can't see the chat. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, cool. Good morning, Diane Robinson. Thank you for watching and viewing with me today. I appreciate it. Um, I don't know if you caught it, so I'm going to say it again. I am actually working on some drapes for not this window, not that window, but for my dining room slash kitchen area. And my color scheme downstairs, this is an open floor plan. I have grays, ivories, navy, royal navy blues, and I wanted something a little played down but still elegant that could go there and just flow with the area downstairs. So that's what we're doing. So I've already cut my pieces. And so what we're going to have is, so this is the piece to the door, and it's double sided, and that went, I'm caught up in my, thank you so much, Diane. Um, and Diane, hey, if you're not a subscriber, click the subscribe button and the notification. Diana, anyone that's watching, even if you're on the replay, subscribe. I need to be doing way more videos. A lot of my videos are super old, so I need to do more. But okay, so back to what's gonna happen. So this is already, I've already cut the fabric, and this one is cut. I believe it's 24 by 70, and it's gonna be one long panel. Normally it would be two pieces, but I cut this on the fold. Let me show y'all. So I've already cut it on the fold. So I'm gonna start on this side, and I'm not gonna trim this seam allowance off yet. Well, not seam allowance. I'm not gonna trim this raw edge off yet. I'm actually gonna use that as my sewing guide. And so I'm just gonna sew all the way around, leaving an opening so I can flip it inside out. And then what I'm gonna do is once I flip it inside out, I'm gonna go around it and just kind of, really like just neaten up these edges, just going around it with a little trim. It's very basic, but a lot of times when you have like a really nice fabric like this, you can make something really pretty without having to do something really complicated. Okay, so that's the goal, to keep it simple and not complicated. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then it's also going to have a flap at the top. And I got to shake this top up because I didn't cut it. It's not cut evenly. So this flap will be, I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm just going to sew all the way around the top. And then I'm going to put it on, I'm going to lay it on top of this one and do a little stitch. So when I get ready to like roll it up, the straps that are going to be behind it, when it will catch this bigger piece of fabric, and it'll hook. And the hooks I don't know if I'm going to use Velcro yet. I'm not really feeling the Velcro right now. But I don't know if I'm going to use Velcro or if I'm going to use, maybe create a button, or maybe put a snap on them, let it snap. But it'll be hidden by this flap right here. But it's going to make a really cool, really nice decorative piece. And then I have extra of the fabric left, and it's going to be the drapes over my window. But right now I'm just focusing on the door. And I'm not on my, normally I would be on my industrial. You did, Diane. Awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations on your first live. Um, Also, normally I would do this because I like it so fast. I would normally do this on my, what do you call it? On my industrial sewing machine, but we haven't moved it up here yet. It's in the garage, so I got to get it moved upstairs. And once I get my room situated, this is just my temporary place. Oh, thank you, Diane, so much. Um, I'm gonna go and subscribe to you so I can catch your live video as well. Who knows? Maybe we can do a collab or something. Just a thought. Um, but I'm gonna use a bedroom as my primary studio because I don't want the loft. I don't want to make the loft really junky, which is where I am right now. And it's just kind of like the staging area for stuff that needs to be brought upstairs and sorted through and organized. So once I get that together and I go in there, then I'm gonna bring my industrial in. But for now, I'll let y'all see what I'm working on. Can I bend it down? I think I have to loosen it. There we go. That way y'all can see my machine. So right now I'm working on my Husqvarna Viking. It's an Emerald 116. This is a basic Viking sewing machine, but it is a workhorse. You hear me? It is a workhorse. I love, I haven't used Singer Project products in a while. Okay, cool. DM me, Diana. I haven't used Viking products for a good long time. I said it backwards. I used to be a Singer person. I haven't used Singer for a very long time. Once I got turned on the Viking, that was it for me. Because even my serger over there, it is a Viking H class. And again, it's another workhorse. I do want to get another industrial sewing machine, but I want an industrial serger just for serging when I make a garment or when I do something like this. Because this is going to be flipped inside out, you're not going to see the edges or the hem on it. I'm not really worried about serging the edges because no one's going to see them anyway. And plus, this is mine. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And like I say, can you see? I need to, there we go. So I'm just gonna kind of in a little awkward position right here. You don't know how? We'll work it out. Maybe we can chat about it. So again, I can see the raw edge from the opposite side. Matter of fact, I'd rather let me do this. And no, right now I'm not pinning anything. This doesn't need to be pinned. It does not need to be pinned. Okay. So I'm actually going to use the widest raw edge. Let's see it. The raw edge has these numbers on it. And there's a little divider right there. That's what I'm going to use as my guide for sewing this open edge right here. So I can keep everything nice and clean. So Diane, what are you saying? You don't know how to use the you don't know how to use the industrial, you don't know how to use the serger. So when I started sewing, I just did a quick back stitch with the machine, and I'm just gonna sew, just sewing along that edge. Yeah, see, this one is, and this sewing machine, it moves. It's got some get up to it, but it ain't got nothing on my industrial. Cause my industrial, I'd be halfway through with this side right here by now. That thing, I have a Juki industrial sewing machine. It's in the garage, and I gotta get it in the house soon because I don't want it to sit out in that garage too long, and then I end up having to have like some major servicing work done to it. Oh, you don't know how to DM me? Okay. Um, Tell you what, Diane. Here's my email address. You can email me at Ayana Ayana dot glaze GLAZ is in zebra E at gmail.com. Email me and we can start our conversation that way. You can also, or you can inbox me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Ayana Glaze Designs with an S. You can inbox me there, or you can also DM me on Instagram at Ayana Glaze Designs. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Ayana Glaze. I'm the owner of Ayana Glaze Designs, and this channel is about me, my life, my style, my business, which is Ayana Glaze Designs. Um, in my business, I started out as doing jewelry designs, and I still do those. I still get a lot of requests from my loyal customers for jewelry. But then I also sew a lot. Cool, Diane. Appreciate it. I also sew a lot, and so, well, not as much as I probably should, but that's about to change. Um, okay, so now I'm gonna go to. Let me see. I'm gonna do a 5/8 seam allowance. I'm gonna go to a 5/8 seam allowance. I was gonna do a 1/2 inch, but I don't want to. I'm gonna do a 5/8 inch seam allowance for this one because of how I cut it. You can, if you do something like this, just always make sure you account for your seam allowance. There's really no hard and fast rule for seam allowance. You can use 5/8 if you want to. You can use 3/4. You can use 3/8. You can use a 1/2 inch. You can use a 1/4 of an inch. I don't know why you use a 1/4 of an inch unless you're like trimming something. It's a very small amount. I'll trim this back down to maybe a 1/4 of an inch before I turn it. But yeah, so that's me, Yana Glaze. That's what I do. And so I go through phases, but I do go through phases, Diane, with my sewing. But I do have some of my customers. I do a lot of work for like sororities, particularly my sorority. I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and so like I have sorors that want me to sew for them, or I have things that I make that are like uniquely designed, and so I'll just sew it myself, like my custom pillows, because all blues don't match. And so in order to get the same blue each time, I may just go ahead and make those pillow covers or pillows or whatever. So I definitely am more into sewing with a purpose, and I don't like to sew for free because it is an art, and I do feel that I'm blessed to be able to sew. But people have to pay me to turn on my sewing machine. And so, like I said, all I'm doing, I'm just going 5/8 inch seam allowance, going all the way around it. The markings are on this sewing machine. On my Juki, on my industrial sewing machine, there aren't any markings on there. So I am Ayana Glaze, and I specialize in creating things to help you shine every day. Whether it's your business or your organization, whether it's you and your personal style, I help you shine. You deserve to shine. Confidently, boldly, unapologetically. And so that's what I do. I took a bit of a hiatus as we were like getting ready to purchase a new home and we were getting ready to move. And it's I took about a year off, and I'm just really getting hot back up. I have some orders I'm getting ready to ship out in the next couple of days from an event I did a little over a month ago. That's not the norm for me, but I had to get moved, and then I had to get unpacked, and I'm still not completely unpacked, but I'm getting there. Like in this moment, I just realized something that I forgot, that I don't have, that I need. I may be able to get by using one of these mattresses that don't have anything on them. But I realized I don't have an ironing board. And I am actually going to need to press this. I have a pretty firm mattress, so on one of my beds that doesn't have anything on it yet. So I may use that. Now you may be wondering why I didn't pin anything. It's because when I cut this, I only made one cut. Well, I made two cuts. I made a cut on the side and I made a top and bottom. I made a cut at the top of the fabric. That's all I did. So it's already laying flat and together. So I'm gonna pull this forward and I'm gonna leave an opening big enough for me to pull this through. So it's probably about a 4.5 inch opening. So I can flip this inside out. And here we are to the end of part one. Part one of the sewing anyway. And of course my scissors are missing. Let's see. So once I get in my crafts in my space set up like I need to, then I can put everything where it needs to be. Okay. And I also want to go through the painstaking effort, except for here, of trimming this back some. This part can be a little boring. So I'm just trimming the extra off so it's not as bulky. And plus I have to go around the perimeter. I have to top stitch around the perimeter when I flip it. So I don't need all that extra bulk. Also, something I was doing when I got to my corners, or if I stopped, I did a back stitch just to make sure that it was extra secure. Okay. So now I'm just going to trim all the way around. Making sure not to get too close to my stitches, because I don't want to accidentally cut into them. And like my living room furniture is very, I have like a Chester feel in the living room, and it is very formal. I still haven't added like a lot of artwork to the living room yet. You're gonna see me make a lot of that on the channel. But it's part of my like regular vlog. But what and I wanted something for the kitchen and the dining room part, because it's an open concept. So you got living room, dining room, and huge kitchen all right there together. And so each one you can definitely tell there's separations. And so when I selected, the first fabric I put up was like a home decor fabric. And it's very, I'll show you a piece of it. So I have this, which is gorgeous, right? This, and then this piece here as a two-tone. But when I put them up, I didn't like them. and was just something fell off, and it's because there's like all this blue, and then in trying to create separation, I feel like I did too much, and it looked very heavy, and I want the kitchen to feel a little bit more, still have that elegant feel, but be a little more laid back and light, but also to still flow, if that makes sense. So continuing to go around the perimeter and just say this: everything about sewing ain't pretty and sexy. Okay, so it's not all, you see the fashion or see the home decor and see the beauty. This is the non-pretty side of it. This is the messy, work on it, put it together piece. But it's always fun to see what your end result is going to be. So and I know I'm cutting very slowly, but I'm just trying to really make sure that I get as close as I can without cutting any of these stitches. Almost there. Then we can flip this piece. And when I buy fabric, I always buy more than I need, because I feel like less is more. I mean, more is, having too much is better than having not enough. That's something I learned from my mom. She might be why I have so much fabric. Anyway, all right. Shake the strings off. Let's flip it. And you just want to make sure you don't rip the seams. So I don't try to put too much in at one time. Now, I didn't have to make this double-sided. I could have simply just cut one piece and did a hem, like just hem the edge. But I did not want to do that. And I tell you why. When I put this up to the window, I'm going to do something that's, and when I raise it, I'm going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate it. Let me get this open out down here. edge up real crisp. Okay, so when this goes up to the window, slide this back for a minute. Like I said, they're gonna be straps. I got this from Joann's, Diane. I got it from Joann Fabric. And let me just say, Joann's is sorely lacking nowadays. Oh my gosh. 'Cause I actually had a piece of this fabric some time ago, and I got rid of it. I wish I would have kept it, but I didn't, so I bought more. This is fabric is gonna make some pretty bags too. But when it's up to the window, right? Let's say this is the part that's to the window, and I want to raise the window. What I'm gonna do is come, and pretend it's. I'm gonna come and grab it like this, and like this. Actually, I'm gonna do it more like this. Right? I'm gonna do it like this. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna form an accordion, right? So it's gonna be like this, 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 and this. So then when you put the strings on it and pull it up and close it up, it's gonna do something like this. And this is a bad depiction of it, but I'm gonna post some pictures on my site, and when I hang it, I'll do another YouTube video. So make sure you hit the notification button. But when you fold it up and you do the straps, it's gonna form something like a little accordion, and it's gonna make a really cute little floor thing at the bottom. And so it's gonna kind of droop like this once it's all, rolled up when you open your door curtain during the day. So it's gonna make a really nice thing. Now, what I've been trying to decide is if I want to use a solid color for the straps, or if I want to keep the straps the same color as well. If I do the solid color, it's probably gonna be this navy. It's probably gonna be the navy blue. I also have some ribbon. I have some white ribbon and some silver ribbon, and I thought that might be cute too, because then I can make it a little bit more elegant. Maybe add a little bling to it. And even with this, if I wanted to, I could pop a couple little rhinestones, just, the flat back rhinestones, just kind of throughout to give it a little bit of a shimmer and a pop. I hadn't decided whether I'm going to do that yet. So now this is done. It needs to be pressed. Now, this has to be, well, it's not done. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. So I'm going to take this little opening here. See that opening? I'm going to take this little opening, and I'm going to fold it in and close it up. Now, when I do the top piece, no one will be able to see this, okay? Nobody will be able to see this, but even if they did, it doesn't matter because they won't know that it's an opening anyway. Okay, so I got that pin closed. You'll see. So once I press it, I'm actually gonna go and press this. So once I press it, then I'm gonna come and I'm just gonna do a top stitch. Going very close to the edge. Keep it very simple. I'm gonna go all the way around it. So that's that piece. Now I'm not gonna go around this yet because I need to press this before I do that. Because the key to these hanging right and looking right, they need to be draped. They need to be crisp, is what I'm trying to say. But the word's not coming out like I need it to. Okay, which piece is this? Oops. So I had another piece. I was on the floor. So I had another piece. So this is, the piece is going to be the top flap. So I'm going to go ahead now and I got to square this off because I didn't when I cut it. But I'm going to take a little bit of a liberty when I square this off. Because if you look at it, you can see it's kind of going, it's a little wider when you get here. So what I'm going to do is fold it in half. I put my raw edge, I've got that matched up. I'm good with that. And then I'm just going to fold it in half. Okay. Now I have a small cutting mat here and I have a straight edge. Okay. The reason I'm doing this is because the way I'm doing it now is because I'm working with a small mat. So now that I got this folded, you see there's, can you see? I'm gonna leave it on the mat. You see right here, there's some overage right here where that doesn't match. And you have the same on this side right here. Like right there. So I'm gonna take my straight edge. I have a rotary cutter somewhere. And that's what I'm looking for right now. Okay, I can't find my rotary cutter, so I'm gonna have to do this the inefficient way. But you know what? It's good to learn how to do it the inefficient way. Because if you ever find yourself in this situation, then you can adjust. And that's what I'm about to do. So I'm only focusing on this end over here. I'm only focused on this side. I'm not worried about this side at all. All I'm gonna do is pick a number. So I got this like on number 15. And I'm gonna line this up to 15. do it this way. It gives me more room to draw. So I got this lined up to the number 11. So the piece that's together is on 11. And it's lined up nicely. Now, if I had my rotary cutter, which is somewhere, I don't know where, but it's somewhere. It's packed up. Normally, I would just take my rotary cutter, zoop, and cut that off. I can't do that right now. I don't know where it is. So I have a water-soluble disappearing ink pen. And I'm just going to use my straight edge. And I'm just going to mark it like this. Then I'm going to take my scissors and cut it off. Again, if you got a rotary cutter, you can skip this part. It's not necessary. I have got to get my life together. Get my stuff back. Get my stuff back. All right. So, let you see. So this is now nice and even, going straight down. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to turn it. I'm just going to put it on a random number. I'm going to use 11. Let me bring this over just a little bit. And I'm going to square it off. I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to square it off. And the reason why I folded up this fabric also is because two things, like I said, so I can see what's not matching, where it's going weird at. And the other thing is because I'm working with a smaller mat. I actually have a larger mat, but I'm in limited space. And so I'm showing you how I'm working it, just being that I'm in limited space. And I'm just gonna cut it. And I'm keeping it on the mat so I can keep the fabric straight. But if I had a rotary cutter, this would have been done by now. All right. And so if you see it, it's now straight. So if I were to take this and flip it, I'm just flipping in the mat. This is now even. And it is 14 inches. Now, I don't want this to be 14 inches. I'm doing a 5/8 inch seam allowance going around. So that's going to take, it's going to take 1.5 inches off. 1.25 inches. Yeah, I'm going to take 1.25 inches off. I really only want this to be about 9 inches. So I'm going to come and I'm going to cut this to 11. So I'm going to take an additional 3 inches off of here. So I'm going to flip this back around so I can get to the long side and make sure I'm where I need to be. One, two, three. So I'm going to mark it again. Oh my God, I need my rotary cutter. I don't know what I was thinking when I didn't find that first. But I'm just gonna cut along this line. And then these aren't my best cutting scissors either. All right. Okay, so now this is at 11 inches wide. Thank you so much, Diane, and I look forward to seeing your email, okay? Have a good Sunday. So now what I'm going to do is come and I'm going to do this again. Normally I would have done like a quarter-inch seam, no, not quarter-inch, a half-inch seam allowance. I didn't do that this time. I did a 5/8 inch seam allowance. But my standard, unless I'm following a specific pattern, tells me to use a specific seam allowance. I typically only use a half-inch seam allowance. The only reason why I chose to do 5/8 inch is because I was accounting for the additional width that I cut with the raw edge being on here, and also just wanted to make sure consistent because I knew I did cut it a little bit bigger. So now that I got this the way that I want it, I'm ready to sew again, and I'm gonna follow the same thing. Now, remember before I said I took the raw edge on the one side and I used that as my guide. So I'm going to continue to use the raw edge. I did my back stitch, and just like with the other piece, when I get to my corners, I'm going to double my back up a little bit, just to give them a little extra security. Back stitch. Okay, we're back. We're back. All right, here we go. I stopped, so I'm just going to back stitch again. Oh, something else I want to point out too. Normally, when I start to sew something and I'm gonna leave a space, I usually start at the end of at one end of the opening and start sewing that way. I didn't do that this time because in this stitch, because I didn't want to create a hump in the fabric. That's why I did this that way. Backspace. I wanted to make sure there wasn't going to be like any bumps or humps in the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to leave the same, about a 4-inch opening. And the 4-inch opening is because this is a lot of fabric. And so now I'm going to trim this edge. Last piece before the flip. Boy, hours sure does go by fast when you're having fun. So now I'm gonna go to the opening. I'm gonna flip it. Oh, and I snip my corners at an angle so I can get a good crisp edge. Be sure you don't rip the seam. Somebody's making smoothies. Kids are downstairs making smoothies and waffles, so. All right, so now the true test whether I sewed this right. Okay, so remember, I'm gonna have to close this up, and I'll close it up with the top stitch. That top stitch that I'm gonna go around this with after I have ironed it out, pressed it. But I need to make sure it's gonna match. Please be the same size. Yes, 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 yes. So they match. They match. They match. Okay, so they're matching. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna press each one of these and get them nice, crisp and clean, nice, crisp, clean edges. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a top stitch. And then I'm gonna sew the straps, probably with the royal, with this navy blue right here. Or I'll order me a ribbon. I may do like a ribbon. I don't know. But I'm happy because they match. And so when I do sew this, when I sew this piece onto this piece, I'm just gonna go along the top edge right there. That's all I'm gonna do. Let's go along the top edge. And so I may even wait to do the top stitch. I may wait to do the top stitch for both of these and just do it at one time and pin these together so they stay closed up and be truly matching. And the top stitch is going to keep both of them together. I'm excited to put these up and let y'all see what they look like at the window. They are going to be adorable. Okay, so I'm gonna hop off. It's been almost an hour, which I'm proud of myself. It's the longest I've done a YouTube video. Let you see my face. So join me. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification and the like button for part 2 of the video when I after I have pressed these and then I'm top stitching them. And also in that video, I will be working on the drapes for the kitchen window, which will match this. And then part 3 will be me hanging. So definitely stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. Ayana Glaze Designs back at it and kicking live and in full effect. All right. So thanks so much. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.